My best friend and I hooked up once when we were both 16 and I ended up getting pregnant. We never told anyone about the hookup even, let alone that I was pregnant. I was so scared. I ended up getting an abortion without ever telling anyone but him. My friend has now passed away from his addiction and my heart is broken and I miss him every day. I always wonder if I did the right thing, that maybe if I had the baby things could have been different. I have so much guilt. Edited to add just to clarify, this had nothing to do with his addiction and did not drive him to it, and I never thought it did. Sometimes I just wonder if it would kept him away from all the things that did lead to his addiction. Just part of my grieving and I needed to get it off my chest.
My dad molested me, and used me as bait to molest other girls. I remember, as a young child, always being told I look so much like my mother. She died in a car crash when I was 6. Obviously, my dad and I were devastated, and I clung to him in my grief. We were often physically very close, him holding me while I and he cried. But after a few months, I noticed a change. His hands began to linger on my butter chest. His kisses seemed to last longer. He started saying we should shower together, to make sure I was washing correctly. That was the first time I saw him naked, but it was by no means the last. A few weeks after we started bathing together and he would always wash me very thoroughly, his hands again lingering on my chest, butt, or crotch, he crawled into my bed for the first time. First it was touching over my pajamas, then progressed to under them, then heavy kissing, then finally full-on rape. He would rape me in my bed, his bed, the shower, anywhere around the house. At first, he called me by my mother's name, but eventually he called me by mine. He told me this was how he was coping with my mother dying, and if I told anyone I would get in trouble, and he would go away forever. I knew it was wrong, and I was scared and hurting, but I believed him and didn't know what to do, so I never told anyone.
Around the time I was 9 or so, he started to use me as bait to get other girls to molest. He would have me make friends with neighbor girls, girls at my school, girls at the local pool or park, wherever. He told me that, loving them, that was what he always called raping me and other girls, helped him, and if I loved him, I would help. I know I was just a child, but I still feel guilt that I did help, as sometimes, it meant that when he was raping them, he wasn't raping me. However, there were girls that I was raped with, as he sometimes liked to love more than one girl at once. As time passed, we moved around a lot. He told me it was for work, but now I wonder if he thought he was close to getting caught and skipped town. Everywhere we went, he would target, groom, and use me as bait to molest more girls. He took me to campgrounds, nudist camps, anywhere he thought he could find girls to rape. I was always his used to get sympathy and trust, the grieving widower and his daughter. It makes me sick to my stomach thinking about how many girls' lives were damaged or ruined by him and his perversions. I wish I had some way to help them, or even know. But I never will. He continued to rape me until he died of a heart attack when I was 24. This all took place decades ago, long before child sexual abuse was spoken about or even acknowledged. I didn't tell anyone until I was in my 40s. I had no close family and I had, and still have, a very hard time forming relationships, even after he died, as I always felt I was using them, or they me. After years of intense therapy, I have begun to recover, but I know it will be a lifelong process. I apologize if this was graphic at times. My therapist told me it is good to be honest and not censor myself when I can. To all those girls, I am so sorry for taking part in your abuse. I hope one day you can forgive me. And to all of you, thank you for listening.